Tracing borders of a person I no longer recognize. I thought I knew the way back to the beat inside my chest, but every road is tangled, every compass is suppressed. You were the North Star, or maybe just a ghost. Now I'm drifting further from the things I loved the most. The landmarks are gone, the signs are all down. I'm a stranger in the streets of my own hometown. I'm checking my pulse just to see if I'm there, but I'm breathing in static and exhaling despair. Searching for a forest, but I can't find a spark. Yeah, I'm a traveler with no home, a bird without a nest. I'm a heavy aching weight inside a hollowed out chest. My heart felt lost, and I don't think I wanna be found. I see people moving with a purpose in their stride, while I'm just an ocean with a disappearing tide. I'm looking for you to tell me where I should go, but you're a cold horizon in a world of falling snow. The silence is a forest where the trees have no names, and I'm just a shadow playing solitary games. It all looks the same when you've forgotten the sound of your own damn name. Is there a path through the black, or is there no way back? I'm spinning in the void, I'm perfectly destroyed. Feel so lost, felt so lost. I'm just wandering in the dark you left behind. I walked into the fire with my eyes wide and clear, ignoring every warning, every cold and biting fear. I knew the walls were paper and the floor was made of glass, but I watched the red flags fly and I let the shadows pass. I saw the end before we started, saw the wreckage in the dirt, but I decided you were worth the catastrophic hurt. I muted the sirens, I quieted the brain, I traded broken now. I push the boundaries of how much a heart can take, testing every limit till I felt the spirit break. I wasn't blind to what you were, I wasn't caught off guard. I just chose to hold the blade even when the cut was hard. You were a beautiful disaster I was desperate to claim, and I let myself be haunted just to whisper your name. There's no bravery in bleeding for someone who isn't there, in breathing in the smoke just to say you shared the air. I went beyond the careful, I went beyond the sane. Now I'm just a ghost wandering the lanes of my own past the fear. I gave you everything, knowing you would leave me with nothing. I'm a glass house standing in a thunderstorm, smiling through the cracks just to keep you warm. I watch the fracture lines map out across my chest, the hidden cartography of a heart that couldn't rest. You were talking about the future, about the summer rain, while I was counting pieces of my sanity in vain. There's a landslide happening behind my eyes, but I'm keeping it quiet, I'm wearing the disguise. No siren screaming, no glass hitting the floor, just the sound of a spirit not fighting anymore. 'Cause I've broken inside silently, without a single sound. No one heard the pillars as they crumbled to the ground. I'm a standing ruin, a hollowed out shell, architect of a private, quiet kind of hell. You're looking right at me, but you're looking through a ghost. I'm losing the version of me that you love the most. Yeah, I'm broken inside silently, and nobody even blinked. I'm still moving my lips, I'm still playing the part, while the rust is even holes through the center of my heart. I'm a shipwreck underwater, perfectly still, waiting for the void or the water to fill. You asked me if I'm okay, and I nodded yes, just a beautiful lie in a funeral dress. The soul stops in two, and there's no one to hear. Does the pain stay heavy? Does it ever disappear? I'm screaming in the but I'm not really. Glass house standing. I'm a glass house. I was a permanent fixture, a statue in your hall, waiting for the moment you decide to risk it all. But you treated my devotion like a breeze against the glass, watching seasons change while you let the minutes pass. You held my heart like a coin you forgot you had to spend. Now the calendar is bleeding and we've reached the bitter end. The sand is at our ankles, the tide is at the door, but you're still checking watches like you're waiting for some fun war. I'm a flicker in the hallway, I'm a candle in the draft, watching you sink the very boat in which we laughed. 'Cause you let time slip through your open, shaking hands while I was building castles in your shifting desert sands. You traded our forever for a maybe and a wait. Now you're standing at the station, but you're 20 years too late. Yeah, it's a quiet kind of tragedy, a slow motion heist. I gave you my whole life, but you couldn't find the price. You let time slip but you watch the hourglass turn into sand. Into the time you didn't have for me. You let it slip. I'm walking out the door into the time you didn't have for me. I reached inside the rib cage where the fire used to roar, searching for a reason to keep pacing on the floor. But the furnace is a cavern and the walls are lined with ice. I'm a gambler at a table who can't even pay the price. I try to feel the anger, try to summon up the ache, but there's nothing left to shatter, nothing left for you to break. I'm a cup without a bottom, I'm a well that's finally dry. I'm staring at the sun with a dead and glassy eye. I waited for the sorrow to come flooding through the gate, it's just a desert silence, and it's far too late. 'Cause my heart held nothing when I looked for you tonight. No ghost in the hallway, no flickering of light. I thought I'd be a wreck, I thought I'd be a ghost, but I'm just an empty vessel on a cold and jagged coast. Yeah, the tragedy isn't that you're gone and I'm alone. It's that I'm sitting in the ruins and I'm feeling like a stone. My heart held nothing, it finally let you go. Checking every corner of the shadows in the room. I saw the way you hurt me, saw the way you walked away, but it's a black and white movie with nothing left to say. The oxygen is neutral, the gravity is thin. There's no more room for us beneath this hollowed out skin. Is it worse to feel the needle or to never feel the sting? To be a broken bird or a bird with held my hand over the candle just to see if I'd flinch. But the distance from the fire hasn't moved a single inch. I'm watching my own tragedy through a dirty pane of glass, waiting for the lightning or the hurricane to pass. But the thunder is a whisper and the rain is made of wool, and the emptiness inside of me is finally getting full of the television screen. When the signal's gone gray, a body made of static just drifting through the day. I'm poking at the bruises, but the purple doesn't ache. I'm a frozen river waiting for the winter frost to break. 'Cause I'm losing feeling, I'm turning into stone, a statue in the garden of a house I used to own. I'm a numb, hollowed out version of a person that I knew, drowning in the nothing that I've used to replace you. Yeah, the sharp edges around it, the salt has lost its sting. I'm a bird that's forgotten why it ever tried to sing. I'm losing feeling, and the silence is starting to feel like home. You could scream my name until your lungs begin to fail, but I'm a ghost ship drifting with a tattered heavy sail. I'm not angry, I'm not bitter, I'm not even really sad. I'm just losing the memory of the hunger that I had. The spectrum's getting narrower, the reds are turning white. I'm a pilot who's forgotten how to navigate the night. Is it a mercy to be hollow? Is it a gift to be cold? To never feel the story as it starts to unfold. I'm an anesthesia, I'm a local numbing. I can't feel the end even though I see it coming. Am I losing feeling? Losing feeling. I'm perfectly numb. I'm perfectly numb. I'm perfectly numb. I'm perfectly. I used to be a wildfire, a fever in the night. I was the heat beneath your skin, I was the blinding light. But you let the embers scatter, you let the air go within. Now the coal is moving outward from the hollow of my skin. I'm a heart that's been abandoned, a fireplace gone gray, just the remnants of summer that you threw across the bay. The smoke is all cleared out, the stinging in my eyes is gone. I'm staring at the wreckage in the pale and bitter dawn. There's no more wood to burn here, no more oil for the flame, just the soot upon the walls where I used to etch your name. 'Cause my heart turned ash, it's a pile on the floor. One breath of wind and I won't be here anymore. I'm the ghost of a fever, a shadow of a glow, a black and broken landscape buried deep beneath the snow. Yeah, you can't ignite a ruin, you can't restart the spark when the fuel has all been wasted and the world has gone so dark. My heart turned ash, and it's slipping through your fingers now. I'm light enough to vanish, I'm heavy as the leaf, living in the scorched out ruins inside my own head. If you tried to touch me now, I'd just crumble in your hand. A mountain made of nothing, a desert made of sand. The fire was a beautiful, terrifying thing, but now I'm just the silence that the winter mornings bring. No more heat, no more light, just the gray anatomy of a long and lonely fight. I'm the after, I'm the end. The part of me that burns for you will never, ever, ever mend. Turn to ash, to I'm just a memory, waiting for the wind to blow. Turn to ash, turn to ash. I'm just a memory waiting for the wind to trail of breadcrumbs through the wreckage of the night. thinking you were following, staying in my sight. I kept the fire burning till the wood turned into ash, waiting for your silhouette, waiting for the crash. But I turned around to find the road was empty, wide and cold. The story of a we that never got a chance to be told. I was dragging both our anchors through the deep black mud, with your name like a fever running through my blood. I thought you were the shadow walking right behind my feet, but the sidewalk is a desert and the silence is complete. 'Cause you didn't stay behind, you didn't even pause to look at the destruction or the broken bleeding loss. I was fighting off the demons in the corner of the room, while you were catching flights to find a garden in the bloom. Yeah, I'm a casualty of a war you didn't stay to fight, left to navigate the darkness while you chased the morning light. You didn't stay behind, you just left me in the dust. I'm a photograph you didn't take, a memory you didn't keep. I'm the secret in the basement where the heavy secrets sleep. You moved on like a river, I stayed still like a stone, learning how to be a ghost in a place I used to own. The air where you were standing is just empty carbon now. I'd ask you why you left, but I don't even remember how. No goodbye at the station, no letter on the bed, just a sudden lack of oxygen, just a silence in my head. You didn't linger in the doorway, you didn't stumble in the dark, you just walked out of the circle and you took away the spark. You didn't stay, you didn't stay. I'm looking back at nothing, 'cause nothing's where you are. I was a mirror reflecting every dream you ever had, a perfect silver surface, keeping out the bad. But you held me with a grip that was loose and full of holes, while the wind winter air was eating at our tired, heavy souls. You saw the hairline fractures, saw the way I started to lean, but you didn't reach to catch me. You just watched the whole damn scene. I'm a million jagged edges on the cold and kitchen floor, a constellation of the person that I isn't anymore. You're stepping round the pieces so you don't get blood on your feet, while I'm a broken puzzle that you'll never quite complete. 'Cause you let me shatter, you didn't even flinch, watching as the distance grew between us inch by inch. You let the gravity take me, you let the impact win. Now I'm just a heap of splinters underneath my own skin. Yeah, it's a beautiful destruction, a cinematic fall, but you're the one who stood there and just did nothing at all. You let me shatter, and you left the mess behind. I'm catching glints of sunlight in the wreckage of the day, trying to find the version of me that you threw away. But every shard is sharp now, every piece is prone to cut, and the doors to every room inside my heart are slamming shut. You're looking for a new reflection, something smooth and clear, while I'm the jagged memory that we're starting to feel. And is it easier to leave it when it's broken into parts, when you don't have to carry the weight of heavy hearts? I'm a million tiny deaths, and I'm counting every one of my shallow final breaths. Let me shatter, let me shatter. I'm just 1,000 pieces on the floor you used to walk on. I used to leave the windows up and let the air rush in. I wore my soul like armor, but the metal's worn and thin. I handed you the blueprint, the keys to every room. Now I'm staring at the wreckage in the flickering of gloom. You didn't just leave a mess, you poisoned the very well and turned a sanctuary into a quiet, padded cell. The bridges aren't just burning, they're melted into glass. I'm watching every person through a scope as they pass. I've got a barricade of lies a fortress made of no, waiting for the inevitable strike of the final blow. 'Cause my heart lost trust, and it's never coming back. It's a city under siege, it's a sky that's turned to black. I'm checking every promise for a hidden, sharpened blade, counting all the interest on the debts that you never paid. Yeah, the warmth is gone, the wires are all frayed and dead. I'm sleeping with one eye open inside this empty bed. My heart lost trust, and now I'm the only one I believe. I'm analyzing every look, I'm dissecting every word, searching for the lie in every sentence that I've heard. You made forever sound like a sentence I had to serve, until you took a hairpin turn and lost your goddamn nerve. Now I'm a vault that's forgotten its own secret code, just a weary traveler on a long and lonely road. It's not the fall that kills you, it's the way the ground feels hard. It's the way you have to play when you hate every single card. I'm a skeptic, I'm a cynic, I'm a ghost in a world where everyone is a critic. Lost trust, lost trust. I'm safe in here, but I'm dying in here. I'm safe in here, but I'm dying in here. I'm the ink that bled out on a letter you burned, the hardest lesson that you never quite learned. I'm pacing the perimeter of what could have been, a hollowed out vessel with a paper-thin skin. You're a neon cathedral, I'm the dirt on the floor, I'm the sound of the lock when you shut the front door. Static in the wire, are you static in my lungs? Tasting all the bitter on the tip of our tongues. I'm pulling at the thread till the whole thing unspools. Falling for the ghost is a game for the fools. 'Cause I loved in shadows, where the light couldn't find me, leaving the best parts of us somewhere behind me. I built a kingdom out of almost and nearly. Now I'm just a whisper you can't even hear clearly. Yeah, it's a long way down from the pedestals I built, drowning in silence and covered in guilt. I loved you in shadows, and that's where I'll stay, watching your colors all fade into gray. black sky. You're dancing in daylight. You're finally free while I'm buried in secrets you kept about me. The dark is liquid, it's filling the room. I'm weaving my heart on a funeral loom. You're the sun, and I'm just the eclipse you outrun. In the shadows. I'm the ink that bled in the shadows, in the shadows. I'm the voices. I turn the sirens high just to drown the sound of a heart about to die. I wore your favorite sweater, I sat in every chair, trying to find a trace of you that wasn't thin as air. I bought 2 cups of coffee, let the steam turn into frost, mapping out the borders of everything I've lost. The crowd is screaming names, but I don't hear a word. On the frequency of sorrow, it's never quite been heard. I can feel the heat of people, I can see the city glow, but there's a winter in my marrow that won't ever let me go. 'Cause I'm still alone in a house full of ghosts, choking on the memories of the things I love the most. I can bridge the distance, I can travel every sea, but I can't outrun the shadow that is living inside me. Yeah, the silence isn't empty, it's a weight I have to bear. I'm reaching for a hand, but there's only freezing air. I'm still alone, and the dark is getting comfortable. I've memorized the patterns of the cracks upon the wall, waiting for a phone to ring or a heavy rain to fall. I'm a radio in a desert, broadcasting to the dust, watching all my iron dreams turn slowly into rust. You're 1,000 miles away, or maybe in the next room, but it's all the same distance when you're locked inside a tomb. Is there a draw for the space between 2 hearts, for the way the finish line looks before the bed is a frozen lake. The sheets are made of glass. I'm bracing for the winter while I watch the shadows pass. I used to find a sanctuary in the curve of your arm, a place where I was shielded, a place where I was warm. But the insulation's gone now, the rafters are all bare, and there's a sharp metallic edge to every breath of air. I'm wrapping myself in the static of the screen, trying to find a frequency where the hurt isn't so keen. But the pillow is a stone and the floor is a knife. I'm a tenant in a body that's evicted all its life. 'Cause my heart lost comfort, it's a shivering naked thing, cowering in the corner where the cold and silence cling. I'm a house with no windows, a fire with no wood, standing in the places where the soft things used to should. Yeah, the world is made of corners, the world is made of grit, and I'm just a jagged puzzle piece that no longer seems to fit. My heart lost comfort, and I've forgotten how to feel safe. I try to find the mellow, I try to find the calm, but chasing down the oxygen until it's far too late. I'm looking for a soft place to finally lay my head, but I'm sleeping on the memory of the things you never said. Even the rain sounds like gravel on the roof. Even the sunlight is a harsh and biting proof that I'm exposed, that I'm undone. I'm a raw open earth beneath the dying sun. Lost comfort, lost comfort. I'm out in the open and I've never felt so small. The world grew 10 feet taller when you walked out of the frame, and the walls began to swallow every echo of your name. I used to feel like thunder, I used to fill the room. Now I'm just a speck of dust inside this marble tomb. I'm looking at my shadow and it's shrinking on the floor. I'm a closing window, I'm a narrowing door. The sky is a weight that I can't seem to carry. The ghost of our us is a weight that I bury. I'm looking for a pulse, but the rhythm is small, just a faint rhythmic tapping against a brick wall. 'Cause my heart felt tiny, like a stone in a stream, just a flicker of a candle in a feverish dream. I'm a whisper in a hurricane, a grain in the sand, trying to hold a mountain in the palm of my hand. Yeah, you made me feel giant, you made me feel brave. Now I'm just a stowaway inside my own grave. My heart felt tiny, and the world is just too big for me now. I'm wearing all your old universe notice when a soul starts to shrink? When you're standing on the edge, but you don't even blink. I'm a telescope looking at the wrong end of time. Just a broken down verse in a forgotten rhyme. Can you even see me? Can you even see me? I turn the porch light into a beacon for the blind, leaving every door unlatched, just in case you change your mind. I sat so still, the dust began to settle on my skin. A monument to patience, or a monument to sin. The seasons traded places, the green turned into gold, while I kept warm the stories that we never got to unfold. My heartbeat is a metronome, counting out the knots, tying my future into tight and bitter knots. I'm a ship that's still at anchor while the ocean starts to freeze, begging for a ghost to bring me back down to my knees. 'Cause I stayed and waited while you were moving on. I was guarding the sunset, forgetting about the dawn. I built a home in the maybe, a life in the soon, howling like a fool at a cold and silent moon. Yeah, I'm a masterpiece of later, a king of any day. While you were miles and lifetimes and a world away, I stayed and waited until the waiting became the grave. The coffee's cold and oily in the cup I poured for you. The calendar is lying, saying everything is new. But I'm a loop of film stuck on the second that you left, living in the hollow, living in the theft. I'm a shadow on the pavement that the sun forgot to move, still trying to find a rhythm in a broken, rusted groove. Is there a prize for the one who never leaves the room, for the one who tends the garden that'll never ever bloom? I'm a prisoner of someday, a slave to one more night, just a fool who's lost the will to even put up a fight. Still waiting I'm fumbling for the light switch in a room that's moved its walls, listening to the sound of my own footsteps in the halls. I used to have a lantern, a glow inside the bone, but you blew out the candle and you left me here alone. Now the colors are just memories, the reds have turned to rust, and the gold we used to walk on has settled into dust. I'm staring at the ceiling, but I can't find the sky. I'm a bird in a basement that's forgotten how to fly. The horizon is a phantom, a line I'll never reach, just a lesson in the darkness that you were born to teach. 'Cause my heart lost the light, and the sun forgot my name, leaving me to shiver in the ashes of the flame. I'm a cold, dead planet spinning in a starless void, searching for the pieces of the world that you destroyed. Yeah, the shadows are my skin now, the black is in my blood. I'm a garden in the winter, buried deep beneath the mud, and my heart lost light, and the dark is all I have left to see. I try to remember the way your eyes would glow, but the image is a Polaroid that's buried in the snow. I'm a lighthouse with no beacon, a fire with no heat, watching as the midnight makes my tragedy complete. You were the electricity, the currents in the wire. Now I'm just a hollow shell, a funeral without a pyre. 'Cause you're a bulb that never breaks, a sun that never sets, or just a billion different ways to live these regrets. I'm a blackout, I'm an eclipse, I'm the taste of cold iron on a pair of dying lips. Lost was standing on the edge of every word you never said. A tightrope made of static, a thin and silver thread. I waited for the don't go, I waited for the wait. But the air was just a vacuum, a hollow open gate. I didn't hear a crashing, I didn't hear a roar, just the softest click of tumblers as you locked the inner door. There's no gravity in nothing, no friction in the hush. I'm a slow descending feather, a quiet fading rush. I'm watching all the colors of the world start to blur into the grayscale version of the person that we were. 'Cause I fell in silence, I drifted down the well. No one heard the impact when the heavy curtain fell. I'm a stone inside a canyon, a leaf upon the lake, sinking through the quiet that I didn't mean to make. Yeah, there was no explosion, no lightning in the sky, just a muted, slow motion way to say goodbye. I fell in silence, and I'm still falling now. I try to find the bottom, I try to find the ground, but it's a long, dark tunnel where the light is never found. I'm passing all the memories, I'm passing all the fears, but I can't hear the screaming through the ringing in my ears. You're looking at the horizon, you're looking at the sun, while I'm the quiet ending to a race that's never run. If a heart breaks in a vacuum, does it make a sound, or does it just go missing until it's never found? I'm a whisper, I'm a sigh, I'm the hush between the hello and the goodbye. In the silence, I'm still falling, I'm still. The sun went down a year ago and never showed its fate, but I stayed rooted in the dark, held captive by this plate. I watched the moon go cold and white, a bone against the sky, while I sat stitching together every hello and goodbye. I didn't need the daylight to see the way you moved. I lived inside the shadows that your absence had improved. My eyes adjusted to the black to the bruises in the air. I found the shape of longing in the corner of the stair. I was a night watchman for a love that had already fled, keeping vigil over words that we never should have said. 'Cause I loved through night when the world was fast asleep, in the secrets and the silences that no one else could keep. I didn't need a morning to prove that you were real. I just needed the velvet of the dark to help me feel. Yeah, the stars were just witnesses to a heart that wouldn't close. I was chasing after ghosts while everybody else arose. I loved through night, and now I'm terrified of the sun. There's a comfort in the blindness, in the heavy ink black cold, where the stories of our wreckage don't have to be retold. I'm a creature of the midnight, a dweller in the gloom, tracing out your silhouette across this empty room. The dawn is just a threat now, a flash of blinding light that'll show me you're not coming, that'll end my holy night. Is it love if it only breathes when the lights are all turned out? Is it faith if it's built on the foundations of doubt? I'm a king of the darkness, a slave to the moon, and the morning is coming far too soon. Don't turn the lights on, I'm not ready for the day. I'm looking at my hands and they're turning into glass, transparent as the seasons and the shadows as they pass. I used to leave a footprint, I used to leave a mark. Now I'm just a smudge of gray against the rising dark. I'm shouting at the mirror, but the glass doesn't reflect, just a silhouette of someone that the world chose to reject. The edges of my spirit are starting to fray, like a photograph left out in the middle of the day. I'm losing my color, I'm losing my weight, drowning in a silence that I've learned to tolerate. lost in the static now that everything is gone. I'm a whisper in a tunnel, I'm a ripple in a well, a story that the universe has forgotten how to tell. Yeah, I'm dissolving into never, I'm leaking into now. I tell you that I'm lonely, but I don't remember how. I'm fading alone, and the world is moving on without me. You're painting over murals that we spent our lives to build, while I'm a hollowed vessel that'll never be refilled. I try to hold the memories, but they slip between my bones, like water through a sieve, like the moss upon the stones. I'm a footnote in the margin, a smudge upon the page, just a bird that's disappeared inside an open, empty cage. Maybe it's just me, can you hear me, or am I already here? Just a memory of a person who was never really there. I'm thinning out, I'm washing thin, I'm losing where the atmosphere in my own soul begins. I'm fading alone, fading alone. I'm almost transparent, I'm almost. I had 1,000 sentences lined up like a firing squad. Oh, I was ready to scream until I saw the face of God. But when you closed the door, you took the air out of the room, leaving me to navigate this suffocating gloom. The wire stuck like glass inside the hollow of my throat, a message in a bottle that I never got to flow. I'm a radio tower that lost its power in the storm, trying to find a frequency to keep the memory warm. But the wires are all tangled and the signal's gone gray. I'm reaching for the syllables you stole and threw away, 'cause you left me silent. You took the words from my mouth like a bird with broken wings when the wind is blowing south. I'm a library of secrets that'll never be unsealed, a jagged open wound that's never gonna be healed. Yeah, you didn't leave a sorry, you didn't leave a lie, you just left me in the vacuum where the echoes go to die. You left me silent, and the quiet is the loudest part. I try to name the feeling, but the alphabet cut the cord, you muted the pain. Now I'm just a shadow standing in the pouring